Matty had been spending a quiet evening at home when she started to hear strange noises outside. At first, it sounded almost like a man mumbling, low and muffled, but she couldn't quite make out the words. Curiosity and a touch of fear got the better of her, so she grabbed a flashlight and her phone before stepping out the front door, shutting it firmly behind her.
Hearing the craziest noises. Listen. I gotta check this out. Ruby. Where the f did it go? What the Oh my God. Hello? Is anyone there? Oh my God. Holy shit. Thought I heard those noises again.
I heard them last night.
I didn't see anything, but I wanted to just look.
Probably just an animal or something.
Yeah. I keep seeing all those cats.
The camera picked up the sound of bushes rustling nearby, and Matty moved quickly, scanning around them with her light, her voice shaky as she tried to call out. Just when she thought maybe it was nothing, she spun around while still recording, and in that pan across the yard, the lens caught something ducking back behind a tree. The figure moved fast enough that it could almost be dismissed, but its shape was far too uncanny to ignore. Afterwards, Matty's boyfriend insisted that it was probably just an animal startled by the flashlight. Still, Matty couldn't shake the feeling that what she saw wasn't any animal at all. Hugo and two of his friends had always laughed at the idea of ghosts, so when they heard about a supposedly haunted house nearby, they decided to go check it out for themselves. None of them expected much, other than just a night of fun, a little adrenaline, and maybe a good story to tell afterward. When they entered the building, they found it in shambles, with broken furniture, dust, and debris scattered everywhere. They explored room after room, joking and pointing out the eerie state of the place, still convinced nothing supernatural would come of it.
Casa brugada. Loco, pero porque yo tengo que ir al frente. Vengan, culero. Loco, espérate. Loco, yo siento como que alguien los está viendo de adentro. Aquello. Mío. Dale, loco, vete al frente.
Y luego tú me siento como que ando en El Salvador, ¿no? Te digo algo, Hugo. Como yo soy el único que no está grabando. ¿Tú no estás grabando? Nosotros dos somos los que vamos a ver esto más rápido que
Mira, grafiten hecho ahí, qué vergüenza.
esta mierda. No, güey, aquí debe de haber cosas raras.
Dale, loco, vamos.
Ya. Con respeto, no conocemos así. Es que mira cómo está
Güey, esta mierda se nos va a caer encima.
Dale, dale.
Ten cuidado, viejo. Tengan cuidado donde pisan, loco.
Para todos lados, ¿no? Y luego tú me siento como que ando en El Salvador, loco.
Te digo algo, Hugo. Como yo soy el único que no está grabando. ¿Tú no estás grabando? Nosotros dos somos los que vamos a ver esto más rápido que
Mira, grafiten hecho ahí, qué vergüenza.
Esta mierda. No, güey, aquí debe de haber cosas raras.
Dale, loco, vamos.
¿Qué pasó, mi loco?
Este man, que vamos, bro. Ey, pero no lo va a caer este techo, güey. Sí, pues las tablas no creo, es un fierro lo que tiene.
But at the very end of their footage, a brief and chilling image appeared. A faint figure, resembling a ghostly woman, seemed to be standing inside the building with them. Her outline was visible enough to send shivers down viewers' spines, but the group themselves hadn't noticed it at the time. They left the house still laughing, unaware of how close they might have actually come to something paranormal. What they dismissed as a harmless adventure may have been far more real than they realized. HRJ Paranormal Adventures uploaded a video titled Part 2 of 3 Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, continuing their exploration of the infamous location. The team had already captured unsettling activity in the first part, and this segment only added more fuel to the fire.
So, do you know who was down the hall that was touching all the people?
As one of the women entered a room, she panned her camera slowly around, to show viewers what it looked like inside. At first glance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, just another empty space in a decaying hospital. But if you paid close enough attention, something chilling could be spotted. Behind the glass, faint but unmistakable, sat the figure of a woman in an office chair. Her presence lasted only for a moment, turning away before fading completely as the camera swept across her. The team didn't seem to notice at the time, but the replay made it impossible to ignore. Viewers flooded the comments with their own theories, convinced that this was one of the clearest captures the group had ever recorded. HRJ Paranormal Adventures confirmed that this investigation wasn't over yet, and that the story would continue in their future videos, so be sure to subscribe and watch my videos so you don't miss it. On Thursday, August 10th of 2015, a corner store security camera recorded something that has left both staff and viewers disturbed. At first, the footage seemed normal, showing empty aisles late at night, but then it became clear something strange was happening. A strange, oversized shadow-like blob began moving across the shelves, not in the shape of a person, but something far more unnatural. As it shifted along, items began to fall over without anyone touching them, including things such as produce rolling across the floor, random balls moving on their own, and smaller goods scattering down the aisle. The employees who reviewed the tape the next day were shaken, unsure how to even begin explaining what they had seen. The manager, visibly stressed, admitted he was less concerned about whether it was paranormal and more focused on the aftermath. With merchandise all over the floor and customers starting to whisper about the haunting, he's been trying to find a cleanser willing to deal with the spirit in order to help banish it. Who knows how that will go, though. A babysitter was going about what she thought would be a normal night's work when she stumbled onto something she'll never forget. The kids were asleep, the house was quiet, but as she walked through some of the rooms, she noticed something strange.
I'm babysitting and I just found the creepiest thing. Look at this. What is that? Oh my god. No, but what is it? It's so creepy. It's freaking me out. Is this real hair? Oh my god. And look. Ugh. Guys, I just came in to make dinner and look what I found. Another one. Oh my gosh. It's a boy this time. Oh my god. Why would you, look at that. Why would anyone have this in their house? Honestly, it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, it has another bell. Oh my god. Guys, guess who I am? The light started going insane. Let me show you. Okay, wait for it because it was literally just happening a second ago. Max? You better not be out of bed. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get him and go because it's really freaking me out.
There were two doll-like figures leaning face first against the wall in separate rooms, and what made it worse was that they both had real human hair attached to them. Unsettled but curious, she set up a camera facing a mirror, imitating one of the dolls to see if anything unusual would happen. What the footage showed shocked her massively. Reflected in the mirror, one of the dolls suddenly sprinted into another room despite being stationary in real life. After that, she began to notice their positions shifting around the house without her ever touching them. At that point, she decided enough was enough and made for the door. But before she could leave, every single light in the house suddenly turned off at once, plunging her into darkness. For the babysitter, what started as just another job became a nightmarish experience that still haunts her. The following footage wasn't filmed in a single night, but instead collected over the course of 2 months. It came from the security cameras of a man's home, where he had grown convinced something paranormal was going on. He wanted enough evidence to finally bring in professional help, so he kept his cameras rolling constantly, documenting everything he could. In week 1, the activity began with his pantry door swinging open and slamming shut by itself, followed almost immediately by the faint, unsettling sound of a child's toy playing music, even though no one was near it. Weeks passed with smaller disturbances, but by week 8, the activity escalated. A glass suddenly tipped and fell from the counter, shattering across the floor, while the chandelier overhead started to sway and rattle without any draft or reason. The final straw of that night came when a chair slowly dragged itself back from under the dining table, inch by inch, as though someone invisible was pulling it. Despite all of this, the man, whose name is JP, was told it still isn't enough hard evidence for most ghost hunters to intervene. They need more before they'll take on the case. So for now, JP continues to collect footage, hoping that the next clip will finally prove once and for all what he already knows is haunting his home. Two men were exploring what locals claimed to be a haunted facility, and the deeper they went, the heavier the atmosphere became. The silence was thick until suddenly, one of them stopped and pointed. He swore he had just heard a strange noise coming from behind the heavy curtains near the church area of the building.
Oh my god. These things are everywhere. It's cold as hell. No, I hear something. I heard something.
Get out.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this shit was. There's something. Don't move!
They cautiously approached, hearts pounding, and one of them mustered the courage to quickly yank the curtains back. Behind them wasn't anything menacing, but rather an old, dust-covered playroom filled with forgotten toys and faded furniture. They searched it quickly, trying to convince themselves there was nothing sinister about the noise. But just as they were about to leave, something happened that sent them both running. Across the room stood a small toy house, its roof painted pink, with its tiny door left open. Without warning, the door suddenly slammed shut with force, as if someone inside had pushed it closed. The two men didn't wait to see what would happen next. They bolted out of the room and out of the facility entirely, convinced they'd gotten too close to whatever haunted the place. C's Crazy Crossroads, the ghost hunter with nearly 50,000 subscribers who has appeared in past videos, had already been through several terrifying moments earlier that same day at the contractor's haunted house. He'd heard unexplained noises, seen objects move, and felt the kind of chill that tells you something isn't right. By the time of his next clip, you could tell he was still shaken, but determined to keep filming.
I'm glad you guys didn't see that, because it was definitely scary as hell, so. Oh, see, look at that fucking ladder move! I'm telling you, there's something in here. There's something in here. This place is so friggin' creepy, there's something in here. Holy shit! Guys, I don't understand this. Ah! Me!
This time, while searching another part of the house, he came across an old ladder leaning against the wall. At first, it was just part of the clutter, nothing unusual, but as his camera stayed fixed on it, the ladder began to tremble on its own, rattling hard enough that it could have toppled. He froze, audibly nervous, admitting how much it rattled him to see something that heavy moving without a person near it. After everything else that had already happened, this was the moment that pushed his fear through the roof. He said later that it was the closest he'd come to just leaving his gear behind and walking straight out, and viewers could see why. The activity wasn't slowing down at all, but instead, it was escalating. The following video was captured by a man called Paul, who had absolutely no belief in anything from the paranormal world. The mere mention of spirits made him laugh in the face of whoever spoke the word, and the shock that would come to him if he actually came across one would be indescribable. In the video that I am about to show you, Paul was in his house doing some maintenance jobs that his wife set whilst she was out working when all of a sudden, a dark and eerie feeling swarmed the room, which gave him the instinct to press record, and this is what was caught.
El televisor solo.
Los exteriores finalmente redundan en la gestión y administración del servicio.
Strangely, the television was turned on by itself, but this is only one of the things that happened. This wasn't just a paranormal incident in isolation, it was many combined. The bell tower started chiming, as if a force had acted upon it, but we can clearly see that nothing has. Furthermore, it throws bottles, and something even hits the feet of Paul towards the end of this video. Paul did not believe in the paranormal world one bit before this video, but after it, saying he was questioning his feelings would be an understatement. In July of 2018, a family in New Orleans were sitting down together, watching some television, when the youngest child noticed something very strange. They pointed at the cabinets beneath the TV and claimed that they were moving by themselves, so the parents paused the television to take a look. For roughly a minute, nothing happened, and they were debating putting the television back on, as they were quite enjoying their show. However, moments later, this happened, and it kept them glued to their seats, and not to mention their mouths glued closed.
Okay, guys, we're in our room and, you know, things are a little strange. So I'm going to see if I can see what's going on and see if we can get somebody to respond. So if you're in here, please let us know. Okay, I know y'all see that, right? Nobody's touching nothing. Yeah, spooky.
It was very fortunate that the father decided to take his phone out to record this incident, because the child was correct and the cabinet moved on its own accord. We could clearly see inside of the cabinet as it was moving, and nothing was seen inside, meaning that whatever caused this must have been invisible. The kid says that it was most definitely a ghost, but the parents just can't teach themselves to buy into that opinion. I'm keen to see what you think in the comments. What would you do if random objects started moving inside of your house without any human interaction? My prediction is that you would run away and shout, because I know for certain that would be my reaction. Well, the man in the following video handled it much differently. His name is Sam, and throughout his life he always felt as if someone or something was watching him. These feelings became so bad that he even had to go and seek therapy for it to see if any past traumas could be triggering it. But little did anybody know what was actually behind the feeling.
Hay algo. Ay, ¿qué pido? No mames, ¿qué pido? Se está moviendo el banquito solo. No mames. ¡Ah, su puta madre!
A ghost must have been behind it all along. Unlike most people who cower in the face of paranormal activity, Sam was cool and collected here, acting as a good example for how to behave. However, it makes no sense why he would be this way. For a first time, Experience the reaction was way too chill and laid back, with many speculating it was because this was fake. Hold on though, because it wasn't. Perhaps over the years, Sam was starting to think that the feelings came from a spirit, so when it actually decided to haunt him, it came as no surprise. The truth is that there are no real answers out there, and it is up for interpretation. A bedroom is meant to be a safe space for people to go to when they want to drown out all of the noise from the world. And in the clip that I am going to show you shortly, Hannah was using it for this exact reason. She had experienced a horrible day at college, and when she came home, the only thing that she truly desired was her bed. But she had no idea that something was going to step in her way. The time was 11 p.m., and Hannah was still on her mobile phone, scrolling through social media in order to forget about the day, but she was beginning to consider going to sleep. Just as she came to the decision to rest though, this happened.
Yo, what the heck?
Somehow, the sound of knocking could be heard on the other side of the door, and it was a repetitive knock that supposedly lasted 2 minutes. Hannah didn't think to record for the majority of the situation, but we are lucky she came to that choice eventually. After catching the knocking on camera, Hannah knew that she needed to prove its authenticity in order to post it online, so searched the bathroom that the knocking came from. To absolutely nobody's surprise, it was empty. One of the most prominent places to become haunted in a house is the basement, and the only place in contention is the attic. The basement is where all of the dodgy things happen because it is tucked away and hidden from the rest of civilization. In our next clip, a mother of two was doing some cleaning around the house when she started to hear a weird noise coming from down in the basement. She was too frightened to go and check without company, so called to her daughter for aid, who agreed to go down there with her. Fortunately, nothing dangerous was on the other side of the door, but something weird definitely was.
And this is my basement. Summer. Tell me it's in the same box as Chucky right now.
Yeah, it's right there.
What?
Yeah, it's in there.
Right, but it hasn't been touched, and all of a sudden, after all of these months, and it's off.
After taking a moment to actually identify where the sounds were coming from, they found out it was in a Christmas box, and the noise was a Santa toy. Curious to see how it had turned itself on, the mother reached into the box and pulled it out, revealing the most frightening part of this story. The switch was off. No matter how many experts have tried to debunk this video, none of them have been able to and haven't recorded an explanation for the Santa incident. The mother is currently contacting ghost hunters to see if they can be of any aid. Sarah first started doing real estate 3 years before this next video was taken, and in all of those years, she has never experienced anything like this. Roughly 1 year into her real estate adventure, she purchased a property for people to rent in order to achieve consistent income, but little did she know that this would be a poor purchase. Over the course of 1 year, 15 people broke the contract of the property and left. So now the government forced her to inspect the place and send footage to them to prove that it was a safe environment to live in. This is what she ended up submitting. Have a look.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque la gente no dura rentando. Rompe el contrato por una u otra cosa y tuvimos que venirla a limpiar el día de hoy porque ya mañana se van a mover. Se las quiero enseñar. Lo raro es que dice el realtor que no dura la gente. Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. Ay, no mames. Ya es noche. Estoy sola. Chingados estoy. No hay nada. Esta pinche casa la han rentado un chingo de veces. Y no sé por qué rompe el contrato la gente. Ay, no. Déjenme regresar, sí, porque me dio cosas a la pinche puerta. Y dicen los señores que rentan aquí que miran demasiadas cosas. La gente no dura viviendo aquí. Rompe el contrato, así que vamos a grabar un poquito para allá. Ese pinche cuarto ahí, no sé qué fregados es. Ya las muchachas me están esperando allá afuera. Miren, allá me da cosa. Tengo que prender la luz. Ahorita voy a ir a prender la luz para seguir grabando. ¿Te imaginas? Para que la gente rompa el contrato acá, es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. ¿Dónde está la luz acá? Chingada madre. Ahí está. Ok, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Esta es una recámara. Se está poniendo ahorita tenso. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias que rompen el contrato. No sé qué es lo que pasó aquí. Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que... Chingados, que... Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que realmente ha pasado, pero sí la hemos limpiado varias veces porque no dura la gente. Y eso sí, la verdad es algo extraño, que no dure nadie. Yo no sé si tú has vivido en una casa así, donde te hayas tenido que haber salido por algo o roto el contrato. Ahorita les voy a enseñar qué es eso que se escucha. ¡Ey! ¿Andan acá? No mames. Espérenme. Iba a dejar grabando, pero la neta ya me está dando cosa. Se escucha el ruido para acá. No sé qué sea. Escuché mucho ruido. Yo creo que me voy a tener que ir. No sé. Tengo que ir a apagar la luz de allá porque se está poniendo ya. Ay, no. Creo que me voy a regresar mañana mejor. Yo me voy a la chinga. Esa pinche luz, la de acá la tengo que apagar.
It seems that the reason so many people decided to break the renting contract and leave the house early is because it was haunted, which is very reasonable. Sarah realized she had a huge problem on her hands because nobody was going to move in now, and she would be forced to lower the rent. In one last desperate attempt to keep rent high, though she is currently in contact with a ghost hunter to come and cleanse the place. But since her motivation is profit, she will be charged a high amount. In the following video, a man was staying at his father's house because he had received tragic news. He would be sent into hospital 3 days from the time of recording due to a disease that proved fatal later down the line. At the time, though, the man had no idea of the outcome. The time was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the father went to the local shop to get some food for them both to eat later on. The son was used to waiting around in this priopat since it hadn't changed since all the way back when he was a child, making it a nostalgic place. However, something was different. He just couldn't pin what. It was some sort of feeling swarming his body to leave the place, but he knew he shouldn't. It was literally his father's place of residence. The poor bloke lived to regret this decision.
Estoy acá en la casa de mi hijo, acá del campo. Bueno, acá se ve un patio, pero es todo campo. Y me senté 2 segundos acá y... ¿Lo ven? ¿Lo ven ahí? Hace unos segundos se está asomando algo y... Yo veo... ¿Ven? ¿Lo ven? ¿Se ve? ¿Ven? Mira. ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Concha de la lora. No veo nada, la puta de re mi parió. Madre. Me doy vuelta todo alrededor, no hay nada, La casa estaba abandonada porque dejamos todas las cosas ahí, pero... Se escucha algo. Uy, concha de la lora. No, estoy re loco. Bueno, si vieron algo, me dicen en los comentarios. No se puede creer.
Out of nowhere, an apparition came into view, and what made it ever more horrifying was that nobody was actually there. It was either a figment of his imagination or a ghost, but after checking back on the camera footage, he knew this was as real as it gets. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is the most known person on this channel, and if you have ever watched one of my videos, you will know why. His profession is recording ghostly videos in some of the most haunted places that Midwest America has to offer, and this definitely comes with frights. His videos last up to 2 hours long, meaning they are perfect to include in my videos, and the one that you are about to be exposed to took place in an abandoned asylum, and he was alone. Take a look.
That wind is absolutely nuts tonight. This place is absolutely nuts. I'm not even halfway through this place, and that tells me I'm in for a long night. Doris, are you in here? I know we spoke earlier. I'm down in your kitchen now. Whoa. What was that? It almost looked like a ray of light over here. Doris, was that you I just seen? Hello? Whoa. I just seen it over here now. It's like a yellowish glow. Thank you for showing yourself, Doris. Ooh, it's that fan again. Are you cooking something? What are you cooking? Whoa. Okay. I'm starting to lose it. I just heard, it sounded like humming, almost. Doris, was that you? There it is again. That same glow. It was just in that cooler. That walk-in cooler right there. Are you in this cooler? Hello?
The most frightening part of this interaction was the ghostly glow by far, because it almost confirmed to Ian that it was present. Furthermore, it started humming, so this spirit must have wanted to be seen. Who knows the reasons why? Subscribe for more clips of Ian. Dom was in his room late at night, just winding down after a long day. The house was quiet, too quiet, and he was just starting to relax when he noticed something strange. His bedroom door began opening and closing on its own. Hesitant but curious, he grabbed his camera and waited.
Guys, like, what the heck? I'm home alone right now. I'm literally like shaking right now. And my door keeps on moving by itself. There's like no windows open or nothing. And I'm definitely home alone. Like, what the, oh my, what the, hello? Hello? Is anybody in here? What in the heck? Hello? I swear you bet. Hello? You better not be pranking me right now. What the hell? Oh!
The door swung shut again, and Dom quickly got up to see what could be causing it. When he looked, nothing was there. Shaken, he turned back toward the hallway, but then another door down the hall slammed closed. Heart racing, he ran over and opened it, but to his dismay, the bathroom was empty. The house was silent once more, leaving Dom unsettled and unsure of what he had just witnessed. After this, Dom said he spent the rest of the night on edge, constantly checking the doors and considering calling a paranormal expert to figure out what might be haunting his home. The next day, Dom went about his routine, relieved that nothing else had happened. He passed it off as a one-time strange occurrence and tried to convince himself the house was normal. But that night, just as the clock struck midnight, he was jolted awake by a chill running through the room. In the dim moonlight, his camera captured a shadowy figure, half hidden, peeking out from his closet. Its shape was disturbingly human, yet something about it seemed wrong, demonic even. Fear rooted him to the spot for a moment, but adrenaline pushed him to get out of bed and check inside the closet. After it vanished back into the darkness, the space was empty, leaving him shaken and unsure of what he had just witnessed. After this terrifying encounter, Dom said he spent the rest of the night too scared to sleep, constantly glancing at the closet and considering reaching out to a paranormal expert. He admitted the experience left a lingering fear that his house was far from the safe haven it once was, and he began contemplating steps to protect himself from whatever unseen presence seemed to be haunting him. Rosanna was asleep one night, peacefully as ever, when she was abruptly woken by a series of loud, piercing screams that echoed through the house. Groggy and startled, she grabbed her camera to record what was happening.
Small.
The screams were audible first, sharp and chilling, and then her bedroom door began opening on its own. Terrified, she quickly shut it, only for it to swing open again almost immediately. Hesitant but compelled, she stepped out of the room, and that's when something even stranger appeared. A small, black blur in the bottom right corner of the camera frame. The sight was sudden and inexplicable, causing her to stumble back into her room, unsure whether what she saw was a ghost or some other unseen force blocking her path. After this, Rosanna said she felt exhausted and unnerved, unsure if she would ever understand what had visited her that night, and that the experience left her shaken well into the next day. Michaelenko, one of the most skilled ghost hunters out there, had been doing this long enough to know when a location would be bad. This time, he was searching a dark, decrepit house, hoping to secure a payout from a client who wanted proof of paranormal activity. He already suspected the place was haunted, but he didn't expect just how intense it would get.
Резко свет. Все, батарея разряжена. Только включил.
As his camera rolled, a cupboard creaked open just an inch on its own, followed moments later by a cabinet swinging fully open with no one near it. Then, almost as if whatever was in the house was trying to stop him, the battery on his motion detector suddenly died, cutting short what felt like a major paranormal surge. Mykolenko left with undeniable evidence and once again, a satisfied client who paid him in full. Subscribe because Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos. Eji and his wife were fast asleep when a series of strange noises jolted them awake. At first, they couldn't quite make out what they were hearing, but the more they listened, the more it became chilling. It sounded almost like demonic laughter, mixed with the faint cry of a baby.
Cobalah dicek. Apa? Kan ada apa-apa.
As the camera recorded, the unsettling noises continued before the carpet covering a lamp suddenly got launched away, sending the lamp crashing to the floor. The couple froze, unsure if they should run or investigate. In the aftermath, Eji said they barely slept that night and have since been debating whether to bring in a paranormal investigator or simply leave the house altogether. They decided against getting an expert because their budget was too low, and for the next few days, nothing out of the ordinary happened. They thought they were safe, but when Eji went to his boxing gym, things took a terrifying turn.
Ada nyala, Cok. Nggak ada orang.
While hitting the punching bag, he suddenly heard a piano playing from another building. He followed the sound and found the piano playing entirely on its own. As he searched for a possible explanation, a strange noise came from a nearby closet, eerily similar to the laugh from before, sending him running. They are now contacting a priest to deal with whatever is haunting them. Jeff was going about his usual day when he suddenly heard some clattering coming from his kitchen. Curious, he went to check it out, camera in hand.
Just sitting around here waiting for something to clean. Need something to clean. Anything over here? No, nothing in the sink there. How about over here? No, nothing there. Over here? No. People, need something to clean here. Let me take a closer look. Anything down here? No, nothing there. Alright, let me check over here. God, I'm bored. Something to clean, please.
His kitchen tap was moving on its own, twisting and swiveling like it was searching for something to clean. Instead of panicking, Jeff couldn't resist joking about it, narrating the tap with silly voice lines like, "I need something to clean," and mimicking its motions. The comedic energy seemed to affect the situation. After a few more moments of playful banter, the tap stopped moving entirely, as if the spirit had been amused enough to leave. Jeff laughed it off, but remained cautious, keeping a camera nearby in case the kitchen decided to get playful again. The light-hearted approach was enough to end the encounter without needing any outside help. The following video took place in the house of Tommy Wells, and it was terrifying to say the least. He had been experiencing paranormal activity for a period as long as a month at the time of this recording, and it really was beginning to get too much. The things that this spirit was doing could not be written off as torment. This stuff was torture, and the next few videos on this channel are going to prove that, starting with today's. He and his wife set up a camera late one night to see what they would be able to capture, because they had documented their hauntings on YouTube for a while now. Fortunately, the ghost was still happy to showcase its powers in front of a camera.
I'm so glad we went and got this camcorder.
Is it working good?
Yeah, it's working real good.
Good deal. You got good color and everything?
Oh yeah, I like it.
Good deal. Might be one of the best investments we ever made, man. Wish
Oh,
I could
yeah.
we had it in here earlier tonight with all that bullshit that's fucking going on.
Yeah, I know, we could have got it on camcorder then.
Had been awesome as shit.
Yep.
About ready to turn in and hit the bed?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the friggin' morning, probably.
God.
Look, listen.
What is that, baby?
God damn, we ain't going
Oh,
to
shit.
bed yet. God damn it. Fuck. Hold on, Jerry, real quick. Watch out.
Okay.
I'll be straight back, man.
Okay. Oh, shit!
What is it?
That noise.
Get out here with me. Come on. Jerry!
Where's Jerry?
Jerry! It's lights down. Get over here, man! Take it easy. What the fucking thing going on?
I don't know. I really don't know. What the hell was that? What was that?
That didn't sound like a damn pit bull got scared right there. I was right there raising hell. Just come with me and see what. Who the hell's in here? I'll check on Jerry again, see if he's call him or something, get him on the phone or something, call him, he ain't over here yet.
This time, its most prominent showing was playing the piano, and you could tell it's been able to play this thing for years. Unfortunately, this was not the time for piano fun though, because it creeped the living hell out of the woman and Tommy. The most frightening part about all of this though, is that it is only the beginning and a long, treacherous night is ahead of them. Subscribe so you do not miss Tommy's future appearances on Haunter. The basement is the most probable place in anybody's house to succumb to being haunted, so the least thing you would expect is for someone to run there when trying to avoid it. The following video had our victim so desperate for safety, though, that it happened. The time was just 7:30 in the evening, and the man was doing everything you would want to in life, sitting down and planning a lovely holiday to Europe. However, little did he know that this would happen, and he was fortunate enough to be filming the door.
Jeszcze nie teraz, jak w sobotę. Kurwa mać. No nie mogę pomóc, żeby tu wrócić. Tak chuj.
First of all, he was filming the door because something happened earlier, and immediately after a knock happened on the door, he jumped to action. Straight away, everything in the house became a bubble of the paranormal, and it was way too frightening. So he ran to the basement where the door slammed behind him. The ghost didn't let him out for a solid hour before the door finally gave way, and he was allowed to run from the home. You best believe that place went straight onto the housing market. Danny was doing some important things around the house when suddenly a series of knocking noises started to occur in the bathroom. Out of natural human curiosity, he decided to go and investigate. But little did he know, this was going to be the worst decision of his life. What he initially believed would be a rodent infestation, or something along those lines, quickly appeared to be something far more evil. I think if he got the choice, he would have picked the rodent any day. When he entered the room, the knocking continued, and as suspected, it was coming from the walls. Danny was going to go back to the living room and call the rodent exterminators that he already had on speed dial. But just as he was about to leave, a demonic-looking creature peeked around the curtains. Out of pure shock, Danny ended the video instantly and sprinted his way out of the house before opening his CCTV app. Nothing was in the house. Horror Xiaolong is a YouTube channel for the people out there who find spirits really interesting but would never put themselves in the face of one. This channel does that for its fans and showcases just how evil and twisted these beings can be. In the specific video of which I am about to show you, they were exploring a house that an entire family was slaughtered in, and it's no surprise that nobody had moved in since. Here is what happened.
有嫌疑对象了。
这里边出来一个那啥呢，一个大人头，咱俩怎么办？
消了呗，那不咋的。
以咱们的脾气肯定消了。
对，你肯定消了。故意消。
哎呦我操！我操！哎呦我操！我。哎呦！我操你妈
！To deny that this place has some form of haunted entity would be utterly ignorant, as it is almost certain something else was in there. Whether it was the brutally murdered family or another ghost, though, that's a whole different question. Earlier on in the day, Egi was forced to evacuate his place of residence after a ghost started to play the piano. This was very creepy, and the strangest part was that it continued even after he unplugged it. Out of fear and confusion, he left the house and cycled all the way to his friends, hoping they would let him in. He only forgot one key thing. They were on vacation. This meant he had to go all the way back home, and he was praying it'd stop. Did it? You'll have to have a look.
Ketawa aku bangsat. Baru aja sampai. Nih, masih pakai helm kan? Baru sampai. Udah disambut. Sedap. Anjing. Stop. Hidupinnya dia. Ketawa aku bangsat. Gimana ngidupinnya woi? Oh di sini. Nah. Oh udah hidup ya. Lihat kan? Baru pun sampai kan bangsat kan. Saya lagi males buat konten. Ini pun sedikit aja kan karena tadi baru sampai tiba-tiba hujan. Udah dengar suara-suara aneh gini. Jadi next saya nggak akan konten-konten lagi. Saya cuman fokus mau main piano. Saya mau ngulik-ngulik lagu. Jadi saya mau fokus. Apapun gangguannya terserah. Intinya saya mau main aja. Biarin aja digangguin.
The house was clearly in no better state, and if anything, it had become far worse. The specific part that frightened Egi the most was that the spirit seemed to be speaking to him, and the words could be made out quite easily. One of them was a religious phrase, which he didn't really know what to think of. Was this a poltergeist sent by his religion as a sign, or was it something evil speaking against his god? The truth is, he would never find out the answer to this question, and the next morning, nothing else happened. It must have been a sign. He just doesn't know what for. In what was meant to be a video showing off the new pool table his parents bought him, Josh discovered something terrible about his basement. Recently, his parents bought him a brand new pool table for his birthday, and they allowed him to invite 7 friends over for an 8-man pool tournament. On paper, the idea seemed incredible, but it wasn't long before he discovered an incredible flaw.
I'm getting ready to play some pool with my friends. And gonna have a tournament, see who's the all-time champ, because my friends think they're gonna beat me. That was weird. My pool table right here. Delicious. Okay, must have tripped over that, but I don't know how. Okay. That was weird. Oh my god. Oh my god. That something just threw that glove at me. There's nothing over there. Whatever. I'm freaked out right now. I'm just gonna grab a pool stick.
From the moment Josh opened the basement door to the last second of the video, the evidence that this place was abnormal kept coming thick and fast. It was almost as if the spirit was on a sugar rush with the amount of chaos it was trying to cause out of seemingly nowhere. First of all, some sort of ball rolled down the stairs, and when he followed it, the chairs took action, moving on their own accord. Afterwards, Josh showed his parents the video, and they laughed as if it was some joke and didn't believe him. Was this bad parenting? Have your say in the comments down below. It is a well-known thing that pets such as dogs and cats can see spirits, and while many choose not to believe this, there are still a lot of people who do. The logic behind it is that they can see certain light patterns that the human eye physically can't pick up, and poltergeists are seemingly made of these light patterns. Due to this, when your little friend starts to get upset or stressed over nothing, maybe you should consider the possibility that it isn't nothing after all. That was the case for the person who filmed our next clip.
Está en ruinas el estado de este templo. Bueno, pues ya está muy deteriorado. Se ve que aquí la gente viene a buscar tesoros. Escuchen. Escuchen, escuchen. ¿Ya vieron esa esquina? Como un rostro con un par de cuernos. Sí. ¿Sí se ve, no? Sí. Está completamente destrozado. Completamente destruido. ¿Qué dice ahí? Todos vamos directo hasta arriba.
The woman behind the camera was put on edge by this behavior, and to say it was scary would be an unjustly understatement. Her pet was staring at what looked like nothing to the human eye, but deep down she knew something was there, and there was actually visual proof. If you paid enough attention, a shadow figure could be seen, and it was a very faint one. I think it was certainly a ghost, and the dogs were definitely onto something, but I'm interested in your thoughts too. It is a well-known thing that pets such as dogs and cats can see spirits, and while many choose not to believe this, there are still a lot of people who do. The logic behind it is that they can see certain light patterns that the human eye physically can't pick up, and poltergeists are seemingly made of these light patterns. Due to this, when your little friend starts to get upset or stressed over nothing, maybe you should consider the possibility that it isn't nothing after all. That was the case for the person who filmed our next clip. The woman behind the camera was put on edge by this behavior, and to say it was scary would be an unjustly understatement. Her pet was staring at what looked like nothing to the human eye, but deep down she knew something was there, and there was actually visual proof. If you paid enough attention, a shadow figure could be seen, and it was a very faint one. I think it was certainly a ghost, and the dogs were definitely onto something, but I'm interested in your thoughts too. Over the last few days, Matty has been hearing a series of bangs from upstairs, and he is well aware that they are not ordinary. One random day though, he decided that he had enough and wanted to go and check out the noises to see if there actually was a source, and he brought a camera just to have some evidence behind him. This is what was found.
Right, I'm going to record it, because I've had a couple of bangs now. The last one was quite violent and it came from upstairs. And it sounded like a door being shut. And I know you don't believe me when I'm here. Oh, bathroom light's on. Oh, and our door is shut, look. So, yeah. Huh. What's that doing on and why? Alright. Oscar? Oscar, are you in here? Is that you? Oscar? Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa! You? What the f? Oscar? Hello? Oh, this is horrible. There's nothing in here. You can't get anything in here anyway, as you know. There's so much crap in there. This is just shit.
From a self-rolling ball to doors opening on their own accord, it was obvious that something was interacting with the room, leaving just one question. What was interacting with the room? There is no shot on Earth. It wasn't some sort of spirit. But what really matters is where it lies on the scale from evil to non-evil. Nobody wants an evil spirit. The haunting of CK is an ongoing series of eerie events that have unfolded inside the home of Chloe Campbell and her family. It all began with small, almost dismissible moments. Nothing too loud, nothing too obvious. But one particular clip marked the shift. One afternoon, their young son was sitting in the living room, completely immersed in his iPad. Right in front of him, a toy digger suddenly rolled across the floor on its own, slowly disappearing out of frame. Just seconds later, a balloon from the dining area began to drift the same way, following the same path. The boy never noticed. It was only later, while reviewing the security footage, that Chloe and her husband saw it, and the air instantly felt heavier. They hadn't remembered the balloon being in that room. The toy was turned off, and there was no logical reason for the movement. That clip became their first undeniable sign that something wasn't right. A few nights later, things escalated. Captured again on one of their cameras, the door to their downstairs porch creaked open all by itself in the middle of the night. It paused, just long enough to feel deliberate, before slamming itself shut with force. No one was near it. No windows were open, just a silent room and a door that moved like it had intent. When the family reviewed that footage the next morning, they were left shaken. While they tried to carry on as normal, this moment marked a turning point. And with tensions rising, it's clear the haunting of CK is far from over. The following video was captured by a family called the Hammerly family, and they have actually appeared on my channel before. Over the past month, they have gone through a lot when it comes to the paranormal world, and no regular household could put up with it. Fortunately, these aren't your regular people. One day, the mother and father of the house decided they were going to run a test to gather even more evidence of a paranormal presence, and in order to keep the kids safe from it, they brought them to their grandparents beforehand. This is how the test ended up going down. Take a look.
All right, TikTok, here's our door. Hinges to the ground, okay. The handle up behind and down. Okay, that's everything. Can you close the door?
Can you close the door? Pretty please?
When the mother encouraged the spirit to work its magic, it unfortunately didn't give her any attention, and this was nothing unusual for their spirit, as it only listened to the man every time. The man was then given the green light to have his attempt at commanding the ghost, and it unsurprisingly listened and closed the door on them. We were showcased the entirety of the door's surrounding area, just to prove that nothing natural made this happen. It was a ghost's act for sure. Magnus always had a weird feeling about his house, but he wanted proof. The creaking floors, cold spots, and that constant sense of being watched weren't enough to convince anyone else, so he decided to film himself sleeping. That night, he set up a camera beside his bed, pointed at the desk, where strange things always seemed to happen.
I want to prove my house is haunted. People don't believe me, so I recorded my room while I was asleep. If you want more evidence, then like and share the video.
Around 3 o'clock in the morning, a glowing orb floated into frame, hovering right in front of the camera before drifting away. Moments later, the whiteboard on his desk began to move, slowly tipping over until it collapsed with a dull thud. Magnus didn't wake up at all, but the next morning, after reviewing the footage, he realized how real it all was and that he might not be safe. So he posted it online, hoping someone out there might know what he was dealing with. Encouraged by the evidence, Magnus set up the camera again, this time in the living room. He left his dog in there overnight, just to see if anything else would happen.
I want to prove my house is haunted. One hour later. My dog does not like to be alone in the house. Try to explain this? She is afraid. We often experience eerie things in our living room. Like and follow for more videos.
About an hour into the recording, something small fell from the tea table without warning, and the dog immediately started squealing, backing into the corner, and refusing to calm down. Some say dogs can see what we can't, and Magnus was starting to believe that more than ever. Magnus had started recording around the clock. He didn't need a specific reason anymore. He just knew something would happen. It always did. The presence, whatever it was, had been with him his whole life, moving from place to place like a shadow that never left. One afternoon, he was in the attic sorting through something when he heard a soft but distinct noise behind him.
Want to prove that my house is haunted? I record in my new home around the clock because I have the same feeling here as in my childhood home. I often have nausea, headaches, and stomach aches, and at the same time I freeze a lot. The ghost has followed me all my life. However, it has started to scare me more and more, especially when I live alone. I have scary footage from my first night here. Like, share, and follow to get the message out about ghosts.
He paused, slowly stood up, and reached for the camera resting nearby. As he turned toward the sound, a chill ran through him. One of the drawers across the room had begun to slide open by itself, slow and steady, like someone unseen was rummaging through it. Then, without warning, something heavy clattered to the floor behind him, just out of frame. He spun around, breathing heavy, but the attic was still. Not empty, but still. Magnus didn't say anything. He just kept the camera rolling, heart pounding, knowing this wouldn't be the last time the spirit caused him troubles. Magnus had reached his limit. The constant fear, the sleepless nights, the feeling of never being alone. It had gone on too long. He didn't know exactly what was haunting him, but he was done running from it. That night, he decided to try a ritual he'd read about online. It wasn't anything complex, just a table surrounded by candles, and a few whispered phrases meant to lure whatever was attached to him into revealing itself.
I want to prove that my house is haunted. I had a hope that the lights were blown out in front of me. I could quickly feel discomfort. About 2 minutes later. This made me sleep out at night.
He sat at the table, quiet, watching the flames flicker, hoping the presence would fall for the trap and blow one out. But instead, he heard a sound, soft footsteps maybe, or something brushing against the walls. He stood up slowly and moved off camera, following the noise. A few seconds passed, then suddenly, a few of the paintings behind the table crashed to the ground, the sound sharp and violent in the still room. Magnus didn't rush back in. The footage caught only the empty room, the broken frames, and flickering candlelight. From somewhere off-screen, he could be heard breathing, quietly watching, waiting to see if that was the end of it, or just the beginning. He will likely end up contacting a paranormal investigator. Ortega had always been drawn to the darker corners of the internet, urban legends, ghost stories, places you weren't supposed to visit. So when he heard rumors about an abandoned school hidden miles off the main road, he couldn't resist. Locals said no one who went there stayed long, but Ortega wasn't trying to stay. He just wanted proof. He drove for over an hour down a cracked, overgrown road until the building finally came into view, half swallowed by trees and time.
¿Qué onda, raza? Pues aquí voy rumbo para la escuela del Barrancón, aquí en Huelahuises. Es que vine a investigar yo solo. Ven. Yo solo. Y pues medianoche. Vengo a ver porque vi un video donde pues 5 pelados bien peludos. Sale una voz al principio del video diciendo: me duele mucho. Pero yo no sé qué chingados le duele a un fantasma. La mera neta. Yo no sé qué chingados le duele a un fantasma. Entonces pues yo vengo acá solo para enseñarles de que pues no hay nada. No hay nada. Porque pues como para que estén engañando a la gente, pues como que no. Bueno, entonces le voy a poner pausa. Pues hasta que llegue entonces. Ok, pues ya llegué. Son las 12:38. Ah, sí, no hay nadie. Esta es la escuela que tanto les decía. Ay, voy a escuchar. Y por allá hay una novia. Pero la novia no me mete. Porque soy culo. Y al chile sí tengo un poquito de miedo. Un poquito nomás. Pero esta es la escuela. La escuela San Benito Juárez. 1954. Esta madre. A ver, enfoca bien. Ahí está esta madre. Aquí hay una. Esta madre no se abre. Ay, güey. Me caí con eso. Es todo lo que. Mira nomás esta. Esta sí está abierta. Pues ya vieron, güey. Puro pinche pedo, no hay ni madres a la verga. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, no mames. No mames. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? ¿Qué vergas pregunto, güey? Puta madre. Ay, güey.
Getting inside wasn't easy. Every door was either jammed or chained shut, but after circling the place for roughly 2 minutes, he found an entrance that he could get through. The air inside was thick, still. As he stepped deeper into one of the old classrooms, something shifted. Ortega didn't wait. He turned and bolted, scrambling back through the window, sprinting to his car, without ever looking back. Now, whenever someone brings up ghosts, he just shakes his head and laughs it off. But the way he triple-checks locked doors and avoids old buildings says otherwise. The Paranormies are a group of well-experienced ghost hunters who visit locations and see what they can find. They post their findings onto their YouTube channel so that people like us can see what ghosts are capable of, and it truly is fascinating. In the adventure that I am about to expose you to, they were responding to a scary story of an old friend who may have been part of a homicide in the 1970s. The spooky, abandoned town of Piney is where this took place, and they wanted to investigate the train station first, and weird signs popped up right away.
You can moan for us so we can hear it. You can do it into one of our microphones or into our ear.
Look at this, man. I didn't see over there, but that looks like it's coming down too.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Like where I'm shining, that looks like a TV, the actual two-part of the TV.
Oh yeah.
All around the station, they were finding appliances such as televisions, stoves, and refrigerators, which was really weird, considering the purpose of the building was supposed to be a transport mechanism. The team theorized that it must have been converted to a storage unit, but as I said, this was just a theory. After coming up with this, they continued their train station adventure without much else to think about. This location had been debunked, but not a house in the town. Next, they all went to the closest house in the abandoned town, and what they found there was much weirder.
Silence.
Really?
Like I actually heard like a lot of voices, but like then it just would stop for like 10-20 seconds at a time, and then it would just pick up again, which is super weird. So if it's silent in here right now, it could pick up again any second.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh my god! Was that upstairs? No, that's outside.
Holy f, man, it sounded like a piece of the house just busted off.
What? That might have been it, because look at the roof.
Was that a piece of the house or was that you? Oh man, that freaked me out. Hands are shaking. Holy smokes.
There was something standing here, right?
What's that?
You saw it too?
Yeah.
Something was standing right
It
here.
looked like something was standing right here.
Oh my god.
But I saw it for like a split second.
A thump was heard by the whole group, and it was almost as if a victim of the homicide was still haunting the town. I will continue this story in a future video on the channel. William Davies was winding down in his bedroom when he heard the soft creak of the door moving. At first, he thought it was just a draft, but then it happened again and again. No windows were open and the heating wasn't on. He grabbed his phone and began filming, thinking it might just be a loose hinge or bad alignment.
Whatever that was. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, just move back a bit then. Oh, not amazing. You get too close to the door. Whoa. Postman? No way. Holy shit. Makes me wonder. Strange. Definitely has right now. By the clock. What? I'm definitely hearing things. Whoa. Not possible. Got some pull on it as well.
In the footage, the bedroom door sways all by itself, as if something is actually in contact with it. As William turns the camera to scan the rest of the room, the cabinet door beside his dresser swings open just as deliberately. There's no sound, no sudden gust, nothing visible that could have triggered it. Afterward, William sits down and replays the clip multiple times, watching how precisely everything moved. The timing feels intentional, like something unseen was reacting to him. He checks the hinges, tests the cabinet, even places items inside to see if anything shifts naturally, but everything stays still until the camera comes back out. That night, he leaves the lights on and tries to sleep with one eye open. The fear isn't from what he saw, but from knowing he didn't imagine it. Something in that room moved, and whatever it was, it knew he was watching. In the following video, Matty was home alone when he heard the bells from the front door ringing. This usually meant that somebody had entered the house, but upon checking, nobody was there, so he assumed it was the wind. However, when he started hearing this again later in the night, he was not going to be as foolish. Matty took his camera this time to capture the phenomenon on camera, and this is what he was able to see.
I don't know what's going on with these dogs, bro. They're scared of some... Yo. I'm telling you, bro. That's the second time I heard those bells, bro. The second time. The second time. I'm home all the alone, bro. Nobody is home. Nobody. No one is home. Nobody is home. And those bells. What's wrong, Petey? What's wrong? What do you see? You see something? You see something over here? I'm telling you, those bells, I heard them twice. What the f is going on? Petey! 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 Petey, what's going on? The TV turned on. The TV turned on. Petey, let's go. Go, Petey. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. What the f is going on? What the f is going on? What the f is going? It turned off. It turned off. Lucy, Bentley, let's go. Bentley, get out. Let's go. Tiberius, let's go. Get the f out. Get the f out. Get the f out. Let's go. Tiberius. Lucy. Oh my God. Charlie, let's go. Come on. Come on, who's home? Come on, who's home? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Come on, T. Come on. Lucy.
The chiming bell was definitely not the biggest issue in this house, because from falling objects to a self-activating TV, this place had it all. Experts have no idea why a poltergeist would choose to target Matty, especially considering nobody else, including him, ever noticed something weird inside of the house again. This is one of many big mysteries on this channel that will likely never be solved. The woman in our next clip loved her job as a cleaner at the old church. Every day, she took pride in making the place shine, enjoying the quiet moments among the ancient stone and stained glass windows. But one day, while working late, she suddenly felt an icy chill creeping through the air. Feeling uneasy, she decided to record a video for her friend to show what was happening.
I want to go back there quick.
In the footage, a heavy wooden door slowly moves by itself. She turns around, startled, and screams. After that, she left work early and told her boss she wouldn't be returning. The experience shook her deeply, and the church that once felt like a second home suddenly became a place she wanted to avoid forever. Two kids were messing around in the kitchen one afternoon while their family's Ring doorbell camera picked up everything. They had been watching scary videos earlier and were still hyped up, joking loudly to each other. "I ain't scared of no ghosts." It was all fun and laughter until it wasn't. Just after one of them repeats the line, the door ahead of them slams shut with full force. Seemingly out of nowhere, their faces go from playful to terrified in a heartbeat. They scream, running around in a panic, not knowing whether to open the door or hide. Eventually, they yank it back open and bolt straight through the house, crying as they race down the street to their grandma's place next door. Later that evening, after things calmed down, their parents reviewed the footage. There were no windows open, no fans on, and nothing they could find that would have caused the door to move like that. Everyone agreed it wasn't just wind or coincidence. It felt like a direct response to the kids mocking whatever might be in the house. Since then, they haven't gone back to that kitchen alone, and next time they talk about ghosts, they'll think twice before taunting them. No one in this family ever thought their house was haunted. It was barely 9 years old, and everything about it felt normal, except for one thing. Ever since they were kids, they'd hear the sound of someone digging through their big plastic tub of Lego pieces upstairs. It was the same tub where they used to build bionicles, and the rattling noise it made was loud and unmistakable. But sometimes, that sound would echo through the house when no one was up there.
Yeah, I hear that very loudly. Dude, that is weird. That's loud. Yeah, that's very loud. Go in. No, it's going on. Shh. There's literally nothing in here. And look how heavy this is. Yeah. Hang on, there's nothing up here. What the crap? There's nothing in here either, look. I could hear it when we got about halfway down the hallway. Yeah, it stopped. As we got closer.
I just heard once. Like I came out and heard like shh. That's all I heard.
Yeah, but we heard it when we were sitting there. We were sitting there and we heard it.
You heard it start?
Yeah, we heard it start and it went for like...
How long ago before you got me?
It probably went for about 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it. You'll watch it.
In the recording, you can clearly hear the distinct plastic clatter coming from the closet, like someone sifting through the pieces. The two brothers rush toward it, open the door, and find absolutely nothing. No person, no movement, just an eerie stillness. They figured that was it, just the same weird sound they'd been hearing for years. But when they showed the footage to friends and eventually cast it onto their living room TV, someone caught something that none of them had seen before. In the far back of the closet, a huge bionicle figure they'd built as kids can be seen slowly turning its head right before the clip ends. They raced upstairs to check, and sure enough, the figure was still there. Same pose, same position. The neck joint is stiff, not loose, so it shouldn't have been able to move at all. The family says they've never felt in danger, but ever since that night, none of them go near the closet alone. Kyle Anthony was home alone while his fiancée was out with her sister. At one point, he heard laughter coming from the basement, but it only started the moment he opened the door. The sound was unmistakably like a child laughing, which made him uneasy since he has no kids. He quickly shut the door, still shaken by the strange noise.
Alright, I am home alone, and I am hearing a little kid laughing in the basement, and I do not have children. This is freaking me out. Yeah, you hear it too? Go. Move. We'll try to go down there. Oh God, let's see if we hear it. Goodness gracious. Shit. Do you hear that? Oh my God, that's freaky. I don't have children. I don't have children. And I'm home alone. My fiance just went with her sister to the mall. Don't hear it anymore now. Goodness gracious.
In the footage, as Kyle opens the basement door, the laughter begins suddenly and echoes through the house. Later, he opens the door again, but this time nothing happens. The silence makes the moment even more eerie as he stands there, unsure of what to believe. Left unsettled, Kyle is now trying to figure out what's going on in the basement, so feel free to leave him some form of suggestion for his future in the comments. To call the Midwest ghost hunter a regular on this channel would be a severe understatement, because he appears in at least 98% of my videos. This is because he never fails to provide long compilations of ghostly footage from places he visits, and they seem to get more frightening every single time. In today's video, he was in a haunted theater by himself, and he wanted to gather evidence that this place was as bad as it seemed. This is what he caught.
All right, well, Reverend Henry Doty Maxson, here is his office. Let's see if anything happens. Reverend? Are you in here? Are you okay with me visiting? Your office here? That's his old chalkboard right there. And that is his handwriting. They've kept that preserved. That must have been from his last lecture before dying. Father, if you are indeed in here, could you tap on your chalkboard? Make a tapping sound like you're writing on it. I would be amazed if you did that. What the? That sounded like paper being moved. It was on this desk. Like, whoa, you see that? Dude, look at that. That has to be it. Look at that, it's literally hanging off of the table. Look at all the other ones, they're like straight, and then that one is just completely. Henry, did you just move this piece of paper? I wonder what's on this paper anyway. It's more of his writing. Reverend, if you're sitting at your desk right now, could you move something once more? Use whatever energy you need. You can use it for my camera, my voice recorder, whatever you need. All I wish to do is learn from you. Learn about the afterlife. Whoa, I'm feeling like coldness over here. It's like emanating from this desk. I'm gonna get a reading with this.
Strangely, the Reverend decided to move a piece of paper to the edge, despite it being its own preserved piece of writing. This was likely to scare Ian, the ghost hunter, but if that was the goal, then it was a big fail because he was not going to give up on this investigation. So subscribe for more clips inside of this theater in future videos. In the following video, a mother was sitting with her 2 children when something out of the ordinary happened. Whilst one kid was playing Roblox, the other was pestering her to bits, and she ended up playing with that child to keep them happy. It was then that she claimed a weird feeling swept the room. she felt cold, and almost as if something evil had entered the vicinity. Little did she know that it had.
Go up here. Look at my mirror. My mirror's cracking by itself. What's happening? Wait, stop. Harry, my mirror is cracking by itself. It's cracked by so far. Why is it cracking by itself? I have no f***ing idea. There's two me. Yeah, it's really fun. Just carry on with it. Stay there, don't go near it. This way. I know, Mum, I know. There's a naughty mirror. Wait. Okay. Why is the mirror cracking? I don't know. I know. Maybe the naughty silly.
Out of the blue, the mirror cracked on its own accord, and it was obvious that nothing natural caused this to happen. There was absolutely no human contact with the mirror, and furthermore, it didn't collide with anything, let alone with the force to generate such a crack. With all of these facts compiled, it is safe to say that something exterior caused this to happen, with the leading conclusion being a ghost. GhostTube is an app that allows its users to detect ghosts around their household, and one special day when Chris became bored, he decided to give it a shot. He always had a feeling that ghosts were real, and was definitely the type of person to buy into an app like this. It turns out that it was the right decision this time though. For roughly 5 minutes, he was messing around with the app, but just as he was starting to get fed up with it and uninstall it, alongside all the other ghost apps, this happened.
And just to be clear, there's no error, there's nothing on right now. Can you move the other one? Hold up.
Part of his drum played without him being anywhere near it, so Chris decided to go and inspect the kit. It was here that he discovered a handprint that looked as if it belonged to a child, but as he mentioned, he had no kids, and he definitely didn't have any fosters. This begs the question, what caused the drum to play? Well, at the start of the video, there were not any handprints on the kit, so it is evident that the feature was added mid-tape. I'll let you decide what caused this in the comments, but I'm sure we all have the same answer. Now that you've had a guess, I would like to reveal that we actually know the answer to that question now. A few days after this incident, Chris posted another clip to his TikTok page in the exact same property, and it was just as weird. He was hearing tapping noises from one of the bedrooms, so decided to go in and see what was up, and it was pretty crazy. Take a look. Somehow, the door closed by itself at the end, and it was not in a natural manner whatsoever. Upon many attempts at zooming in to expose any tricks that Chris might have used to fake this, nothing was found, which means this clip has to be authentic. Matching it with the fact the drum kit moved too, makes it obvious that this place is haunted, and I advise him to seek help as soon as he possibly can. Ricardo had been believing his house was haunted for a very long period of time, but the only problem was that none of his parents would ever believe him, and he was aware of this. Instead of making them aware of his concerns, Ricardo decided to let the things he saw go unnoticed, no matter how unhinged or out of the blue they were. One day, though, he got a sudden burst of motivation to get help on defeating the poltergeist, so decided to start recording and see what interesting clips he could find. This was one of them. Strangely, lots of things were happening inside of Ricardo's room, and his parents would be beyond imbeciles to watch this clip and believe anything other than a spirit being present. Ricardo used this logic and presented the evidence to them, and they agreed that they would offer him help if he managed to obtain 2 more pieces of evidence. Motivated as ever, Ricardo kept recording in critical moments, and it wasn't long whatsoever until he caught his second clip. This time round, a piece of art on the wall was moving, and Ricardo showed his parents again. This time they were much more concerned due to the item moving being one of their possessions, but without the third piece of evidence they were not going to give their son the benefit of the doubt. Ricardo was not a quitter though, and despite taking a whole fortnight to capture his last piece of evidence, he didn't give up throughout this time period, and it really paid off. Have a watch. Not only did the cabinet actually open itself, but it threw an item out which made it unexplainably abnormal. Ricardo's parents watched this one and finally took a turning point in regards to their attitudes on ghosts. They are in talks with ghost hunters currently, and I wish them the best in securing one at a reasonable price tag. On May the 29th of 2016, Angel and Willie were both in the kitchen when something absurd happened. Roughly 5 minutes before the incident, the two of them were in their rooms having the time of their lives without any clue what was going to happen to them in such a short period of time. Out of nowhere, their father shouted for them both to come downstairs and told them to start making dinner because they wanted to and it was time. Just as they got started, Willie needed the toilet, and when they came back, Angel was in a much different state of mind.
What the?
What are you doing in here?
Watch that drawer. What the heck is that?
Wait, what? You're joking. Are you doing that?
How am I doing that? I'm recording.
Liar.
Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
As odd as this was, the drawer started opening and closing without any visible force being applied to it, and Angel refused to believe her own eyes. It was because of this that she pulled out her phone and started to film the incident, because the trust in her phone camera far exceeded that of any other visionary source. When the duo went to make their parents aware, they were told to speak to a priest, not them, and listened. Hopefully the person of which they eventually get aid from is of help. This next clip is so insane that experts needed files of evidence to prove that it was a spirit causing it rather than a literal earthquake. The time was 11 o'clock at night, and Vadim was in his room getting ready to rest for the night. It had been a long day for him, and all he wanted was some peace and quiet that coincided with the comfort of his bed. Little did he know that his wishes were not on the agenda of a poltergeist. A note to take before this is that Vadim has never experienced anything of this sort before, so even his reaction is on the abnormal side.
Октября, 2 часа ночи. Вот такое веселье у нас почти каждую ночь. Удовольствие. О, тихо, ша.
See what I mean by evidence was needed to prove it wasn't an earthquake. I was very surprised when I found out that the place wasn't on the seismic meter. Vadim contacted his landlord shortly after this incident, in hopes that he would be allowed to move to a new place of rent in due course. But with the contract being 6 months, he would need to pay a fee. The sad thing is that Vadim does not have the funds to pay for something like this, so still has to live there for another 2 months. Not even my luck will be able to help him.